And it all takes place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at the statistics that nobody talks about. We're mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 147 pounds in Las Vegas between world champion Mario Barrios and the challenger Ryan Garcia. Guys, before we continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? Also, guys, join our Johnny Says Boxing Insider professional betting Discord. The link is pinned in the comment section below. You can either join here on YouTube and become a JSB Insider, or on Patreon. Whichever way you join, it's a couple bucks a month. It gets you access to our professional betting community. It's not just boxing in there, MMA, all pro sports. We actually just launched for the Aussies this coming month, AFL, NRL, and the Americans, Major League Baseball. So click the link to find out more. All right, guys, we have a massive week of boxing ahead of us. Internationally, we have a big card in the UK. We have this massive card in the States. So in this video, what we're gonna do is focus on the world title fight at 147 pounds between world champion Mario Barrios and challenger Ryan Garcia. In this video, what we're gonna do is break down both fighters' careers. We're gonna talk a little bit about how each fighter goes about their business. And like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. Guys, the last time we saw Ryan Garcia, he was part of the Times Square card. It was last year. He was pitted up against Rolly Romero in a fight in which everybody had Ryan Garcia tipped to win that fight. He was a massive betting favorite, and it was one of those performances that kind of left you scratching your head. Garcia got dropped early and he never seemed to recover. He ended up getting outpointed by a wide margin and lost a decision to Rolly Romero. Since then, Rolly has been elevated and he is a full world champion at 147. If you would have told me 10 years ago when Ryan Garcia turned pro that 10 years in, he would have yet to win gold around his waist, I probably would have been a bit shocked. This was a kid coming out of the amateurs, a lot of hype, a lot of pressure with that hype, and he's been doing his best to kind of navigate these professional waters. We've seen him lose a couple times. We've seen him look great, but as of late, there are a lot of questions. There's been coaching changes, and he is currently teamed back up with his father, pro coach Henry, for this massive opportunity. If Garcia could come out on top, he will be able to say for the first time in his career that he is a full world champion. In his opponent, Mario Barrios, he's coming off a couple draws. We haven't seen him since his fight against Manny Pacquiao. Before that, he fought Abel Ramos. Both fights ended up in a draw, so he didn't lose, but he didn't win. But more importantly, he didn't lose his belt. Barrios always seems to find himself in big fights. This is another massive opportunity to remind everybody on the world stage why Mario Barrios is a world champion. It would be an understatement to say both guys have a lot to prove in this fight with everything on the line. It's really going to depend on which Ryan Garcia shows up. Mario Barrios is a guy, when you watch his tape, you might not see anything that jumps off of the paper. I know he gets a lot of heat lately in the media and in boxing groups about his performance against Manny Pacquiao, but I live scored this just 2 days ago in our Discord, and 1 through 12, I got my notes sitting right in front of me. I scored it when I watched it in real time for Mario Barrios, and this second time I scored it 115 to 113 for Mario Barrios. There were many close rounds. I put rounds 4, round 6, rounds 9, and rounds 11 were extremely close, so those could have gone either way. In that fight, I saw Mario Barrios start off with a good jab, but then somewhere in the mid to later rounds, his jab disappeared, and he kind of goes through these lulls in output as well, letting his opponent dictate the pace. I feel if it wasn't for Pacquiao's age, 46 years old, the aura of Manny Pacquiao, maybe the draw wouldn't have looked so bad, but I think people are kind of underselling Pacquiao. At 46, explosive, athletic, experienced, one of the greatest to ever do it, would still be a handful for many guys at 147, but we know how that fight went, and a lot of people scored it for Pacquiao. In the end, I wasn't one of those. I felt like Barrios did enough to get the victory. Ryan Garcia is coming off a lackluster performance. This is a kid, like I said, people had big hopes, big aspirations. What do we always say? What have you done for me lately? You're only as good as your last fight. And for both guys, they have an opportunity to erase all of the doubt, all of the naysayers, and put a performance of a career on this Saturday night in Vegas. Which one will do so? Only time will tell. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the challenger, Ryan Garcia, see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Ryan Garcia is 24-2 of his 24 wins. 20 of them come by way of knockout. Of his 2 losses, he's been stopped once. Out of 2,712 fighters in the world at 147 pounds, he's ranked 21. He's fought a career total of 124 pro rounds and carries him in the ring at an 83% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans call him King Rye, and the 27-year-old American is a 5'8" orthodox fighter with a 70-inch reach. He was born in Victorville, California, but calls Los Angeles, California, USA home. We last saw him fight Raleigh, 16-2, lost to UD in the 12th. Devin Haney, 31-0, no contest, no decision in the 12th. Oscar Duarte, 26-1, stopped him in the 8th. Tank Davis, 28-0, he got stopped in the 7th. Javier Fortuna, 37-3, he won by knockout in the 6th. There's some big names on Ryan Garcia's resume. He hasn't been as active as I would like for my 27-year-old prize fighters in their prime. We know he lost a year with what happened against Devin Haney with the drug test. That Devin Haney performance, he looked amazing. We know what happened. We know he failed a drug test, so it got erased from the history books, but not from our memories. A lot of us, myself included, will say right now, and I really believe this, if that Ryan Garcia shows up on the weekend against Mario Barrios, he wins. But there's so many ifs in our sport. There's so many ifs with Ryan Garcia. We last saw him against Raleigh and he looked flat, he looked slow, he looked sluggish. He looked like he was searching for answers in that fight, and he was never able to overcome that knockdown. And the crazy thing about that was, you can't say that he can't come back, because we've seen him drop before the Luke Campbell fight, and he figured a way through that, and then he came back and stopped Luke Campbell. That seemed like a long time ago. He's only fought a handful of times since 2022, and this most recent version of him, the Raleigh version, it's really hard for me to see that that isn't who he is right now. When Ryan's at his best, we know about the lead hook, we know about his hand speed, we know about his power. All of that disappeared in Times Square early last year. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions with both guys. It's what makes this fight so interesting and what makes boxing so interesting. You never know. Some guys, when the lights are super bright, they step up. Some, they kind of disappear. We've seen Ryan do both as of late. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the champion, Mario Barrios, and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Mario Barrios is 29-2. Of his 29 wins, 18 of them come by way of knockout. Of his 2 losses, he's been stopped once. He does have 2 draws. Out of 2,712 fighters in the world at 147, he's ranked 24. He's fought a career total of 210 pro rounds. He carries in the ring a 62% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as El Azteca, and the 30-year-old American is a 6-foot-tall orthodox fighter with a 71-inch reach. He was born and raised and lives in San Antonio, Texas, USA. We last saw him fight Manny Pacquiao, 62-8-2, majority draw in the 12th. Abel Ramos, 28-6-2, split draw in the 12th. Maidana, 22-2, won a UD in the 12th. Ugas, 27-4, UD in the 12th. Santiago, 14-2, stopped him in the 8th. The 2 fights before that, he lost back-to-back fights. One, he got stopped against Tank Davis. The other one, he lost the decision to Keith Thurman. When you look at both guys' resumes, you got to give the resume strength of schedule to Mario Barrios. Both guys have a common opponent in Tank Davis. Both guys got stopped. The difference in this matchup is it is at 147. Barrios is the bigger guy. He's the more experienced guy. He is the world champion. This will be the biggest guy that Ryan Garcia physically has fought. And I feel that going into this fight, Garcia is going to have to be the version against Devin to beat Barrios. When I rewatched the Manny Pacquiao tape, Mario Barrios did a lot of things good that people forget. He stayed defensively sound. He didn't fall apart. His jab looked really good early, and he didn't really get hit flush. He didn't get hit clean. There were a couple combos where Manny landed in the first few rounds and then a combo in the late half. But Barrios stayed defensive minded. He doesn't have the quickest feet, but his feet are better than people think. He'll use the ring when he wants to, but doesn't really like to. His feet can be flat, and he keeps his head on the center line a little bit too much for my liking. He's one of these punchers who kind of I go, you go sort of thing. He doesn't really like punching with you. He picks his shots, and he kind of could go through lulls of low output. So for Mario Barrios to win, he's going to have his jab on point. I think he's going to have to be defensively sound, just like I saw against Manny Pacquiao, and he's going to have to just circle away from Ryan's lead hook. For Ryan Garcia, he's going to have to be psychologically switched on. His hook has to be on point. His hand speed has to be on point, and he can't go in there second guessing himself. When Ryan Garcia is confident, when he is on his A game, he is one of the best in the world. I want to see that version of him. As a coach myself, he's one of these fighters in this era that frustrates me because we see what he can be at his full potential, but we also have an example of what he can be when he's not switched on, and it's really hard to forget about that. I should mention, Bob Santos is not in Mario Barrios' corner for this camp. He reached out and hired one of Ryan Garcia's older coaches, the legendary Joe Goosen. Garcia did speak out about this a couple weeks ago doing media, and he spoke about how he's not happy about it, called Goosen a traitor. Make what you will about that psychologically. Will that help Ryan? Will that hurt Ryan? Once again, only time will tell. Guys, before I get into these current Las Vegas odds and I give you my prediction, I do daily live streams every single day. In those live streams, we go over all of the fights internationally. We talk about over and unders. We talk about props. I give you my underdogs of the week. It's why you have to join our Patreon, join the Discord to get all of my picks in these Stats Zone Live videos. You're only going to get my money line prediction. All right, guys, let's pull out our betting apps. Wherever you are in the world, Mario Barrios on the money line is the underdog. If you put 100 on Barrios, you get your money back plus 205 bucks, so a 2-to-1 dog. Garcia is the favorite. 100 on Ryan gets you your money back plus $43. So Ryan is a 43% return bet on the money line at this moment. Those odds, I think, reflect Ryan Garcia's potential. When I think about what have you done for me lately in both guys, neither one has looked amazing. The one is coming off a loss, Ryan Garcia, really head-scratching loss to Raleigh. And then Barrios, people were saying that the draw against Manny was that bad. Like I told you, I didn't think he fought that bad. He fought really hesitant. He said after the fight he respected Manny way too much, and how could you not? You're in there with a living legend and a pro Manny Pacquiao crowd. That sort of pressure, that sort of experience, I feel, will help Mario Barrios in the future. I don't think he's a shot fighter. He's the bigger dude. He has the more experience. I think he punches harder than people think he does, and I think his defense is better than people thinks it is. Right now on the money line, hold up. You know, we got to do it. We're swindling. The swindler is back. I'm going with the dog again. I think Mario Barrios is live here at plus money. He is the world champion. There are just too many questions for me to put my money on Ryan Garcia, especially what he's looked like as of late. In the comment section below, guys, we know this pick is going to cause an uproar, but this is not an echo chamber, so we appreciate and respect everyone's opinion. In the comment section below, will we hear and still for Mario Barrios or and new for King Ryan? Guys, stay tuned. This week on the show, we have 3 massive guest live streams. Wednesday, I'm streaming live with Gary from 3D Boxing. Friday, we got Tommy Ranone, former pro and co-host of the Paulie Malignaggi and Tommy Ranone betting show. And then my Saturday, Joe Stunner Boxing, the UK's own. He's going to come on the live stream where we're going to break down that UK card, specifically talking about the Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington 2 fight and the Bilal Fawaz and Ishmael Davis fight. So stay tuned. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 140 pounds between world champion Gary Antuanne Russell and the challenger Andy Hiraoka. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to like this video? Could you also remember to subscribe? Become a member of our Johnny Says Boxing VIP Insider Group. We're a growing Discord community. We're approaching 400 JSB Insiders. You can either join here on YouTube to be an insider or join on Patreon. Whichever way you choose, it's a couple dollars a month and it gets you access to our world famous professional betting Discord. That link is pinned in the comment section below, so click it to find out more. Going into fight week, I was actually worried this fight was going to be canceled due to some tweets saying that Hiraoka was stuck at an airport in Japan due to visa issues. I woke up this morning with another tweet saying that he's on a plane and en route to Las Vegas. So sit comfortably. Hopefully both fighters make weight and we have a good old-fashioned southpaw slugging firefight with the belt on the line. We know Gary Antuanne Russell's only blemish was a close decision loss to Alberto Puello. We also know that Andy Hiraoka is undefeated. The Japanese southpaw is a slugging fighter at range, doing his best work controlling the distance and walking you on to shots. So in this video, what we're going to do is break down both fighters' careers. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business. And like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction, telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, Andy Hiraoka, when we're talking about inactivity, you have to be pretty inactive to have less fights in a calendar year than Gary Antuanne Russell. Because I always say, even though GAR is one of my favorite fighters, his inactivity bothers me. As of late, he's been the more active fighter. He's had one fight a year since 2020. We saw him once last year looking phenomenal against Rayo Valenzuela in his comeback fight after his only loss to Alberto Puello. That loss going into the 6th round, I had GAR up 4-1, and then his volume started decreasing. I feel like it was a tactical issue, maybe a cardio issue, and the 5'9" southpaw Alberto Puello fought his way back into the fight, was winning a lot of the mid to late rounds close, and he was awarded a split decision. Moving forward, we saw GAR respond back in a pillar-to-post beatdown against a very tough Rayo Valenzuela. In my opinion, we watched GAR elevate. He's great at range. He's great in the pocket. He has great world-class elite hand speed, and we know about his power. I feel going into the Puello fight, he was 17-0 with 17 knockouts. That knockout-to-win ratio and his undefeated record went to the wayside, but sometimes with young fighters with a lot of pressure on them since the amateurs, in GAR's case, a loss or a statistical defeat really isn't the end of the world, and we watched that in his rebound fight against Rayo. With Andy Hiraoka, this guy has kind of had this aura about him as being a knockout artist from Japan. He knocked out Jin Sasaki in 2021, already 5 years ago. We know the same Jin Sasaki who since that defeat went on a long run and put himself in a position on the world level against Brian Norman Jr. in a fight that didn't go his way as well. Hiraoka's only fight in recent memory was in 2024. He was shelved in 2025 for various reasons. We saw him knock out in the 9th round Ishmael Barrosa in a fight to where he was in full control and he finally walked Barrosa onto a beautiful counter backhand and got him out of there. So this will be his first fight since 2024. What I want to do right now is take a closer look at the challenger, Andy Hiraoka, and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Hiraoka's 24-0 with 19 knockouts. He's not currently ranked in BoxRec's algorithm at 140 pounds due to his inactivity. He's fought a career total of 123 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 79% career knockout-to-win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Blade, and the southpaw is a 5'11" fighter with a 74-inch reach. He was born and raised and lives in Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. We last saw him fight Ishmael Barrosa, 25-4, stopped him in the 9th. Maldonado, 18-6, stopped him in the 5th. Minyo Jung, 13-3, stopped him in the 8th. Lagambe, 13-5, stopped him in the 2nd. Akaiwa, 7-3, stopped him in the 6th. So this is a guy who likes to stop people. He has exceptional power, very big, long, and rangy for the division. You don't see many 5'10" plus fighters at 140 pounds, and in this fight, we're gonna get 2 of them. They operate kind of at their own different paces, though. Don't think with Hirooka you're gonna see a atypical front foot, blood and guts in the pocket the entire fighter like we see a lot coming out of Japan. Hirooka goes about his business a little bit more patient. I feel he's most comfortable at range. I'm not saying he's not versatile because he could fight in the pocket as well. Probably my favorite tool of Hirooka's is his lead hook. So GAR has to be careful at that. GAR is definitely not going to want to fight at Hirooka's pace, and GAR is definitely going to want to use his speed and pressure to take the fight where he's more comfortable. I feel that's going to be on the inside. Hirooka's going to have to use his jab and be patient with Gary Antuanne Russell. I feel Hirooka's power will be on par. My issue with Hirooka, though, is his resume up until this point. We haven't seen him on the world level. A lot of people don't know his name, but the blade is very live in this fight. And when you have power, size, and range like Hirooka, you're going to be in every fight, thus being 24-0 with 19 knockouts. Let's take a look at the world champion and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Russell is 18-1. Of his 18 wins, 17 of them come by way of knockout. His one loss was by a decision. Out of 2,694 fighters in the world at 140, he's ranked 15. He's fought a career total of 70 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 94% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as The Last, and the 29-year-old American is a 5'10" southpaw with a 69-inch reach. He was born and raised and lives in Capitol Heights, Maryland, USA. We last saw him fight against Rayo Valenzuela, 14-2, won a UD in the 12th. Puello, 22-0, lost a split decision in the 12th. Cruz, 16-0, stopped him in the 1st. Barthélemy, 29-1, stopped him in the 6th. Victor Postal, 31-3, stopped him in the 10th. So since 2019, Gary Antuanne Russell has averaged 1 fight a year. It seems to me he's working to be more active. He is a world champion right now. Let's remember who the world champions are at 140, the pecking order. Dalton Smith is a world champion. You have Shakur-Stevenson, Richardson Hitchens, who's fighting on this same card in a very exciting fight against Oscar Duarte. And then you have Gary Antuanne Russell. If you ask me, I put Gary Antuanne Russell, I mean, the BoxRec algorithm doesn't agree. He's not even in the top 10 of their system at 140 pounds. I put GAR with another great performance, another world-class performance here. He's fringing on my top 10 pound for pound list. I love how he operates. It's his speed for me and his understanding of the ring. He's able to make these split-second decisions on the real estate of where he likes the fight to take place. He has the power, he has the size, and you can't overlook his body punching as well. When I think about these guys, how they match up, I think Hirooka's shortcomings in this fight, if there are shortcomings, if we do see this come to fruition, will be his defense. Even if you watch the finishing sequence of the Ismael Barroso fight in 2024, Hirooka has these lulls where his hands are down. He goes over his front knee and gets off balance on that front foot, and his chin is high. I feel if he does that against Gary Antuanne Russell, Russell's speed and countering and power is going to make him pay. So that's something to keep an eye on if you're an Andy Hirooka bettor on this fight. Guys, before I take a closer look at the current Las Vegas odds, I want to remind everyone, I do live streams every single day. That's where I interact with you guys. We do the live streams on Patreon now as well, so you get them on YouTube and Patreon, so be sure to subscribe. But we do our over and unders, our props of the weeks, our dogs of the weeks, our long parlays, method of victories. In these Stats Don't Lie videos, like the one you're watching now, you're only going to get my money line prediction. Wherever you are in the world, let's pull out our betting apps. Currently on the money line, the world champion Gary Antuanne Russell is $1.34 favored. You put 100 on GAR, you get your money back plus 34 bucks. Hirooka is a $3.60 dog. 100 on Andy, you get your money back plus $260. Hirooka is not quite a 3-to-1 dog. I think he's live here. An undefeated knockout artist, 5'11" southpaw at 140 pounds, 100% he's live. What we're going to see, I feel, is there a gap between skill set? Is there a gap between competition? And will Andy Hirooka be able to compete on the biggest stage, the brightest lights in Las Vegas, featured? Will he be able to step up and perform against Gary Antuanne Russell? Where I'm putting my money, I don't have a hat near me. I'm going to say no. I love GAR in this matchup. I feel that Hiraoka's style is going to be tailor-made to make Gary Antuanne Russell look amazing. I expect another world-class performance, and I think it's only a matter of time until we see Gary Antuanne Russell's name in the main marquee headlining events in Las Vegas. So guys, this is not an echo chamber. You do not have to agree with me. In the comments section below, let me know who you like. Is it going to be Ann Still for Russell, or is it going to be Ann New for Hiraoka? Also, Patreon boys and the JSB insiders in the Discord, check the posts. I just gave you my method of victory for this fight, and it's paying close to 2-1. Guys, also stay tuned to the channel if you haven't seen my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of another world title fight at 147 pounds between the world champion Mario Barrios and the challenger Ryan Garcia. Stay tuned because that's coming up right now.